Hey Cancer, welcome to your soul alignment reading, where if you're feeling a little bit off balance or out of sync with your higher self, we are going to get you back on track. So let's start first by pulling a couple of oracle cards just to see what energy is surrounding this reading for you guys. And for my Cancer collective, we're starting out with Herbal Kitchen, Alchemist. And let's pull another card and see what other energies are surrounding my Cancer collective for their soul alignment reading. And what we have is Irene, peace. There is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Okay, so for my Cancer collective, it almost feels as though you are in a place right now where, and I don't mean to sound this, for this to sound bad, but it almost feels as though you're in a place where it seems like you believe that there's a necessity for you to sort of manipulate things. I just got this image of a puppet master in my head, like pulling strings here and there to try and make things work out. It's almost as if you're in a place where it's like you have to force things to happen or they're not going to happen. And it feels like it's causing a lot of stress. I feel very anxious doing this reading for you. And it feels as though Spirit is saying, calm down, Cancer. It's okay. Things are unfolding as they should. You don't have to put this much effort into placing this piece here and this piece there and this one right over here. Like, just calm down. It feels as though you are not necessarily letting things flow, or that you're trying to rush things to get to the outcome it is that you want. And when we do that, I think that going in that sort of very fast, very forward motion because we want things to happen right now in the way that we want them to happen gets us out of a place where we can see some sort of shortcomings or shortfalls in that approach. And it's not until we find ourselves like waist deep in mud that it's like, oh, damn, I probably shouldn't have done that, is like the sense that I get. So more than anything right now, Cancer, I feel like Spirit is saying that it's time for you to just ease up a little bit, that it's not necessary for you to try and control everything that's going on right now, that things are progressing and unfolding as they should. Even though it may be a little bit rough, it may be a little bit frustrating, that it may seem like things are not moving as quickly as they should, again, or not in the way that they should, but there's a bigger plan out there for you, that things are actually moving in a way that's best for you right now. Even though it doesn't feel like it, you might feel a little bit unsettled. So let's get into some tarot and see what other messages we can pull. And we're going to start by taking a peek and seeing how you can get into alignment with your soul. How is it that you can best get into alignment with your higher self? And what we have that came out for you is the 3 of Roses and the 4 of Roses. So these are cups in traditional tarot. So 3 of Roses with loving elementals and the 4 of Roses with views of the ego. I almost feel that this is something that has to do with the people that are around you, with the, I want to say friendships, but the community that you want to be a part of, or that you're currently a part of. But I think for a lot of you, there are some folks that you sort of want to associate with, not necessarily because they're great people, but because they can somehow elevate your life, or they can somehow have some sort of positive influence on your path forward. And so really focusing on that, which is of course not necessarily a bad thing. I think that it's natural to want to be a part of a group that helps give you different experiences, that expands your worldview, that, just can sort of broaden your experience in this lifetime. But I almost feel as though there's a question of whether or not you're doing it for the right reasons. So with the Four of Roses or the Four of Cups, this is really about seeing what's in front of you and, figuring out whether or not those are good things. And then also on the flip side, not recognizing a potential other gift that is right in front of you, that you're kind of blinded from what's seeing. So it feels as though right now there's a question that you may need to ask yourself, Cancer, is what is it that you truly want? And do you want it for the reasons that are right for you? So it almost feels as though for a lot of you out there that you want to be involved with people or in certain situations or circles that look nice on the surface but aren't necessarily beneficial to you as a person, like in your core. It feels almost like it could be more about image or about how other people perceive you. So, getting into alignment with your soul and what it is that you truly want, I think that you're going to have to ask yourself those hard questions about why it is that I want this. And is there something else that might be a better fit that I'm not necessarily seeing right now? So what your soul wants for your next steps. We're starting with the King of Scrolls. This is the King of Swords in traditional tarot. And so the King of Swords is a very blunt energy. There's someone who is very thoughtful. They rely more on their intellect than anything else. They do not let sort of emotions or passions cloud their judgment. In some cases, this could be an overthinker. But I think in your case, Cancer, what your soul wants next for you is a lot of consideration. They want you to ask yourself the challenging question, why? Why do you want this? What is it going to get you? Is it long term? Is it sustainable? Is it something that's only beneficial right now? Is this only something that's going to stroke your ego? Or is this something that you see yourself wanting very, very long term? And we have that clarified by the Seven of Keys or the Seven of Pentacles, the Ascent. And so what this feels like, Cancer, is that there is something greater on your path than what it is that you're seeing right now. Because the Seven of Pentacles is really about planting seeds and waiting for those seeds to, sprout roots and then take hold and then break through the surface. And when the time is right, you sort of harvest them. And so given the energy that you're sort of in right now, in terms of getting into alignment with your soul, questioning what it is that you've been pursuing so hard right now in this moment and trying to pull the strings in order to get, Spirit is saying, is this really, really right for you? Because I think if it was right for you, you wouldn't be feeling this amount of anxiety. You wouldn't be feeling this amount of stress. You wouldn't have to be an alchemist. You wouldn't have to manipulate things so much. Perhaps there's something else that you're not seeing. And if you paused and just took a couple of breaths, right, and let go of this anxiety and stress, then maybe you could see what's in front of you that you haven't been acknowledging or that you haven't been able to recognize. Perhaps there's another place where you should be planting these seeds. Will it be as instantaneous? Probably not. Will it be more beneficial and sustainable for you in the long term? Yes, absolutely. So, there might be a little bit of a need to let go of the strings here, Cancer, and just sort of let things flow. Now, what changes do you need to make for your next steps? What changes do my Pisces need to make? We're starting out with the Two of Forces or the Two of Wands, the Willow. So the willow is an interesting plant because it's pretty hardy. It can grow in a lot of different places. It's very, very sturdy. But with the Two of Forces at its core, it's a decision card, right? It's about sort of being planted in one place and sort of refusing to move from where you are, but then also having the option to explore the world, seeing what else is out there for yourself. And so I think that what needs to happen on this next step is that you have to decide whether or not you want to be in this place where you're constantly pulling strings, constantly trying to manipulate things in the way that you think they should be and being around the people you think that you should be around. Or do you want to get out there and explore? Do you want to plant seeds elsewhere? So, being able to make that decision is going to be integral into the level of peace that you experience, at least in the foreseeable future. So we have that clarified too by two additional cards. We have the Three of Keys, or the Three of Pentacles, the chess game, and we also have the Divine Physician. So with the chess game, again, it's a matter of strategy, right? There's a lot of thoughtfulness, and the Three of Pentacles is about working with others. So I think you might have to adjust the way that you view other people and how you interact with them. It doesn't have to always be a matter of strategy, but also keep in mind that threes represent growth and change. So, thinking about where you are right now, it's possible that you may need to just grow beyond what it is that you've had your eyes set on. Because again, there's something greater, it feels like, that's out there for you that you may not be seeing. And with the Divine Physician, this is a 6 card, and the 6 represents the past. So I almost feel as though what it is that you've been putting your time and energy into has been a byproduct of past experiences, maybe feeling as though you don't belong, or you're kind of like the odd person out, and that it feels like there's a need for acceptance from other people for you, and from a specific group in particular. And so the change that you may need to think about is growing beyond this group, right? Is making the decision whether or not you are willing to sort of leave them in the rearview mirror for something, for another group that's potentially better for you, emotionally, physically, mentally. It doesn't feel like there's stress associated with moving on to the degree of the stress that I'm feeling with you sort of staying put and trying to be a part of this circle that doesn't feel particularly welcoming. So how can you best listen to what your soul wants, to your higher self? We're starting out with the Akashic Library. And so this card has come out for a lot of readings that I've done, and it requires a bit of soul searching, because the Akashic Library is where the record of you and your soul is kept. Your current life, your past life, lives before that, and all of the lessons that come with those lives is held here. So the best way for you to listen to what your soul wants is to go back and think about the lessons that you have learned over time. And I suspect that if you're able to do that, Cancers, then you'll realize that perhaps you're investing in people who don't deserve that investment from you. And we also have the Queen of Keys. So where we've seen, in the beginning, we've seen a lot of ego, we've seen quite a bit of emotion that has sort of entered this space that you're in right now. The Queen of Keys, or the Queen of Pentacles, is someone who is very stable. They are very grounded. They are very nurturing, not just to other people, but to themselves as well. This is someone who sort of has an equal balance of head and heart, but they make sure that they are stable above all else. And it feels like in this energy that you're exhibiting right now, that you're not very stable, that you are just sort of running around trying to do everything for everybody, almost in the name of acceptance. And that's not benefiting you in any way, shape, or form. So think about the experiences that you've had and whether or not that's something that you want to go through again, or whether or not you've learned your lesson and you're willing to move on and invest your time and energy in other people and other communities and other circles. Another message from Spirit: true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So again, I do think that your past experiences, your past energies are what's driving you to sort of, I just almost like run around like a chicken with your head off, like trying to prove yourself to other people. And I feel like that has been in part triggered by rejections that you've experienced over time from these same types of people. And I don't know if you've noticed, my voice is going a little bit out. It feels like I'm losing my voice in talking about this. So I feel like at some point you may have lost your voice around these types of people. But for whatever reason, to gain acceptance, you keep trying and you keep trying instead of sort of cutting your losses and saying, you know what, where you won't, someone else will. And planting seeds in another space with another community that's going to be more embracing, that you don't have to work so hard for, that you can just relax and be you. So Cancers, maybe take a little bit of time to think why this is so important to you and why it's so triggering to maybe not be a part of this circle or this group, because there's another one out there that's much more welcoming and that's going to allow you to heal and find peace in your relationships. So that's what I got for you guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.